Yeah, somebody had to. Yeah, we had to wait for the door to be closed because somebody left it open. Ruben.
All right.
What the fuck is going on?
That's opportunity, man. When one door closes,
oh my God! One door closes. Like we're live right now. Like. Yes, we're live. You just. We're literally. That's why. That's why. And we're still live.
We are?
Yes.
We on?
Yes. I have it. Yes, we are live.
We are. I'm sorry.
What's up, everybody? We're FREESTYLE on HouseRadio.net.
Oh, okay. Pick up my mic. All right.
I'm Rafi Ryan, also known as DJ Noise. All right, man. always doing something. You know, closing the door here, another door opening here.
Yo, it was like opportunity. It's like one door closed, another one opens.
This dude is having his own show. He's having his own show on the side. Like, literally, he's having a side. Like, you know when people have Texas Hold'em and they do a side bet? This is what he's doing right now with me. This is what he's doing.
She whispering. I'm like, just call me.
I don't believe we've ever done that before on live on live radio.
Yo, we had mad stuff going on, bro.
He couldn't wait until the end of the show, but of course,
my bad.
He has to go close the door, and
I really did. No. You want to explain?
I think we get it now.
oh, you explained already. All right, I'm sorry.
No, one door was open. He goes to close it. Another door opens. Another door opens back here. Doors are open all over the place.
At that point, I just sat there.
How was your weekend?
Man, my weekend was good. I enjoyed myself with the family. Man, it was my mom's birthday.
Happy birthday, Mom!
And we turned up, man, at Red Lobster as well. Let me tell y'all something, man. They know what they doing with that endless shrimp. Don't think you're gonna go there and get like 10 plates. They're only gonna come out in half-hour intervals and shifts, man. And like we were almost there until Red Lobster closed. But my mom had a good time. That's all that mattered. You know, my mom had a good time, man. She enjoyed it. Yo, my mic on. All right, yeah. So my mom.
It's on. I don't know if mine's on.
We're just talking anyway. So you know, my mom had a good time. She enjoyed herself, man. You know, the family, you know, got silly. You know, just not a lot of people, man. Small, private, intimate moment, man. But the jokes were just hilarious, man. Especially like with my sister. Like once I'm on 100, and like my sister reaches 110, so I gotta reach 120. And it's just like back and forth, and we laugh off of each other. Like my sister's genuinely funny. Like so, like the same way like I tell jokes and people laugh at me. Sometimes I just want to sit back. I want to let somebody else take control, and that's where my sister steps in.
So. Your weekend.
I just said it. It was awesome.
Just that one day.
That's all that. Yep. That's it. That's all. That was all that mattered. That was the highlight. That was the highlight of my weekend. No. Other than that,
do nothing.
No, I was pretty. I watched Power.
Okay. How was that? Ha! All right. Let's not talk about
it. Don't get me started, man. Because I don't want to be the spoiler, especially like for a lot of people that watch it late, whatever. Power is serious business. People will curse you out if you tell them what happened.
I never got into it.
You at least got to get into this last season. You have to.
Nah,
it don't even matter if you just jump right in.
I said nah.
50 Cent is dead already. It doesn't matter.
I really don't like. I don't know.
Go ahead. Let me focus on you. Hey.
Had a little party for my son and my daughter together. You know, us poor people. You know, we can't afford to do a party.
Merge them.
We have to merge them. You know, they're so close in in birthdays anyway. One's 1 month, one's this month, and one's next month. So it's,
understandable. Mine 2 weeks apart.
And besides, we're poor. We ain't got the money to be doing 2 parties in 2 months.
Speaking of your daughter,
but the love for both of them is definitely there. So either way, if it's together, it's still there.
Baby girl, she's shouting you out.
Shout out to my daughter's watching right now. But I watched some football yesterday. I mean, I didn't really have to watch football the weekend because my team already, won. The one game I had to watch was the Saints and the Cowboys. Oh man, that was a good game. I was happy that the Cowboys got their asses whooped. Well, I mean, it was a close game, but there was a couple of players hobbling off the field, at halftime for most of the game.
Yeah, my sister not too happy. She's a huge Cowboys fan.
I mean, not talking too much about it.
Like a lot of my family is before my brother passed. I didn't know he was a Cowboys fan. So I got a little beef with my brother. Like that's a shame. It's like he was a Cowboys fan. Like where? Like we would have been having rivalries.
But you don't like the Cowboys.
No. But my sister and my niece is so, and of course my brother-in-law. So I'm like, where do all you guys come from? So I'm outnumbered, any given Sunday. Like I'm outnumbered. But
my team. What's my team?
Yeah. Eagles. You know what I mean? And when it comes down to the Eagles, man, it's pretty much like when it comes down to my household, it's just me and my pop. Like my mom don't matter. It's whoever's up, whoever got the nicest jersey.
My wife is a Giants fan. My daughter's a Giants fan. So I'm trying to get my son to be a Braves fan or a Eagles fan or both, you know what I'm saying? Like if I can have both, that'd be great.
Nice.
Because my daughter, like I said, she's a Giants fan, she's a Yankees fan, she's a Mets fan. It's all your teams.
Right.
Because my wife likes all those New York teams.
So she follows suit with mommy.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So they're constantly saying, oh, we're gonna try to make him.
So you rolling the dice on your boy, like, come on, baby boy.
Well, I'm anytime there's an Eagles game and it's on and I'm home and he's with me, I'll try to put him so we can watch the game.
Coaching him.
We'll watch together, and
Word.
and same thing with baseball. If there's a Braves game on and I took him to a game and he sat and liked it.
Nice,
so
nice.
You know what I'm saying? So it's taking him, showing him, and hopefully he'll grow up to like one or the other. So
Right.
That was my weekend, man.
Hey man, look, nothing wrong with that, man. That's
It was
what's
chill,
up.
it was chill. It wasn't insane. It was chill.
Nice. Same. Yeah, man. So what we got going on? It's on you.
What does we could. Well, I'll highlight Saturday. Well, this is out of left field. It's Saturday.
Bring it.
For those who have a Nintendo, regular old Nintendo, or something that can play Nintendo games, I went to go, to a flea market and I bought this Nintendo game. And I cleaned it, did all the necessary, things, popped it in because it didn't work. And the second game, same game that I tried. And the second time, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go take this back. This was Saturday right after I got out of work. So I'll take this back, get my $5 back. And I was like, all right, then maybe I'll turn it into something. What are the odds I'll find something for $5 that I'll say it's a win. So I took a quick walk, like really fast walk through the, I seen a complete set of baseball cards, a certain year. And it was one of those, I picked it up, how much? He goes, $5. And like, the $5 that I just invested in the game didn't work. Took it back, got my $5 back. I'm about to unload it onto this complete set of baseball cards.
Right.
Not an old set. A couple good guys in there in a set. But I was, I was like, wow. I was like, I got $5.
Good investment.
I got a set that's probably worth $40 for $5. that was sitting on my table, my TV stand for $5. Video game that didn't work, so I turned it into something that could work.
Nice trade.
You know what I'm saying? I'll take it every day. Especially, the condition the car, the set was in. But that was my after work Saturday. So I should share that story.
Hey, look, man.
I didn't tell nobody that story.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you know how you get, come across, a nice collection of baseball cards. I think that was a well spent $5,
Well, it wasn't a collection. It was just one set of the one company, 1 year. So it was just all those cards that they put together.
Yeah, you probably could have got that $5 and got a $5 fill-up box.
I could have
did anything with it.
I could open a box set and I opened it to see if everything was in there.
Yeah.
That's how it looks at all in there. As I'm driving, I'm looking, and I found the one card. I found a Barry Bonds rookie in there.
Say word.
So now you see it's an '87 set, '87 Dunruss, and I see the Barry Bonds in there. I'm like, all right, it's in there. It's the complete set. Once you see one key card in there, you can tell, give or take. I haven't looked for the McGuire or the Greg Maddux or the Bo Jackson. You know what I'm saying? On that one card, that strength of that one card, I said, all right, if this is in here, everything also has to be in there. So I said, all right, I put everything back, folded it up, and put it away. You know what I'm saying? So that was my find for Saturday.
Nice.
Flea market picking, yard sale, secondhand shopping, all that, And normally, if it's something I already have, I'll buy it, and if I get it for $5, I'll turn around and sell it, to somebody else for $10. You know what I'm saying? Or, if it's a set that's worth $40, $50, I mean, it's worth it. If I had it already, I'd turn around. You know what? I'm selling it. But it's something I didn't have, so I'm like, all right, that $5 I'll keep it. I don't have to return this. I know I can get that out of it.
Yeah.
If I'm going to get rid of it, I'm gonna sell it for a lot more. But. Yeah, that was my cool find. News is insane right now. Especially with Donald Trump. I know we don't try to talk about this guy a lot because we don't like to give him press, but this right here has to get some press. The dude's about to be impeached, or something close to it. The inquiries, the motions are being set forth. Let's say the ducks are in line for this thing to actually happen. For those of you who remember, Clinton, that was, under, cross-examination. For those who remember, some of those my age, some of those who, do remember older, or go back as far as, Nixon, that was, going through all that. This guy might really go and get impeached. The evidence is, before they didn't have evidence, and he was taunting everybody, oh, you don't have evidence, and it's more like the sky just opened up and evidence is falling everywhere. It's like,
oh, because of a whistleblower.
All because of a whistleblower. And
he says that he feels like it's treason that somebody from within leaked sensitive information, but I just feel like that's just pretty much snitching or telling. Either way, but treason is going like to the opposition and giving them
treason is going to the enemy and selling secrets.
Yeah,
spying on us, spying on the president is not considered treason. It's
tell him.
You're telling the truth to to the people, the American people that think that he's a criminal or think that he's unfit for presidency. That's the word that they're throwing out there, or just incompetent. For those who believe in Trump and think that he is a savior and think that he is bringing jobs and think that he is something with the GOP and the Republicans and with the Democrats, the whole entire bubble of political circle that
they would turn on him if they could.
Listen, whoever supports him, I don't disrespect you. I don't look at you wrong. I don't care, But those who oppose him, I don't disrespect you either. I'm just saying, this guy, for so many years, he's already planning his his second term, and this guy might get actually impeached. And whoever, like I said, whoever side you're on, this is gonna affect everything. Everybody is gonna probably affect healthcare, probably affect taxes, probably affect Wall Street. It probably actually started affecting now. I think Wall Street was doing good. I don't know if it's because of him, being an inquirer, because of with the chaos of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? It's who knows what's going on. That's insane.
So far, what we do know is speculation that he was trying to extort and strong arm Ukraine. With like $500 million in like military aid if they looked into Biden. And he got some phone conversations that he claims are highly sensitive. With,
listen. Offering military aid and military arms on our tax dollar that he doesn't own.
With a stipulation, it was for favors. Like, I give it to you if
that's kind of
do this for me.
That's treason. That's treason right there, because you're engaging with another country in your favor.
Who you think is the biggest person to watch for and all that? Who I think not playing with none of this? One person that's just not playing.
What do you mean, not playing?
Not playing any games with none of this, and is like leading the charge on all of this. You know who that is?
Nancy Pelosi.
Facts.
Nancy Pelosi, whatever.
Yeah, Nancy. Have you looked at her eyes? She always got that keep on talking look. Like remember the look that your parent would give you, like keep on talking.
I remember the go screw you clap. I'll clap for you today, but I got you soon. And look, she's finally. I got you down.
Listen. The look on her face is like every mom that say keep talking, and if you smart, you know that keep talking means shut up.
But also you gotta look at all the, people are rejoicing. The ones that don't like Trump, they're rejoicing and say, hey, yeah, we're getting somebody different. Listen, you're gonna get Michael Pence.
For a little bit. Only for a little bit.
But you're gonna get Mike Pence.
Barely.
And you don't know what Mike Pence.
Listen.
Is capable of.
All I know is
he could be a warmonger. For the little bit of time, he can create so much chaos.
Listen, like my thing with Trump is I rocked with Trump before he became president. You know what I mean?
The hood rocked with Trump.
Yeah,
before
Trump was on a Wu-Tang album. He was on Method Man.
Listen, everybody rocked with Trump before Trump became.
He was on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
He
was on a Wu-Tang album. He was on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He was on Home Alone. Like he was making some cool moves. You ain't see a lot of billionaires doing that. Billionaire. Just, let me stop and kick it with Will Smith on Fresh Prince. Or let me just drop in on Method Man's album.
And he's friends with Lil Jon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because of the
show. I don't agree with his politics. You know what I mean? But as an individual, I rock with him, man. But in politics, I knew Trump's mouth. I knew his mouth and I knew his demeanor. So
what you gotta do is listen. How you want to know how the White House was run? Just go back, Netflix, and go bring up all the Apprentice shows. Then you're gonna see how he runs his boardroom.
It's just certain things that you can't say you can't do, and that's what I disagree with because it's contradictory. Like when he mocked the special needs guy, and he did the arm thing. He's like, "Oh, I didn't know." Then he tried to justify and say that
he mocks the Puerto Rican people by throwing paper towels at them.
Yeah.
People don't listen. People don't forget. People don't forget.
And it's just certain policies that before the American public wasn't tolerating, but they tolerate now.
Allowing the family being torn apart.
Michelle Obama wore a sleeveless shirt one time, and the public got on her because it showed too much shoulder. But meanwhile, any given day, Melania could have like a halter top, back out and everything. Mind you, we're talking about a person who posed for a centerfold, back in the day. And I'm just saying, we can't be contradictory, you know what I mean? Or that much of hypocrites. You can't hate a person's politics that much that everything they did. I can't stand Trump's politics. Can't stand them. You know what I mean? But you know, like, listen, I'm not going to disrespect him as a human. Right? Exactly. You know, whatever he did got them there. Whether it was inherited, whether like it was his drive. He ain't a lazy person. You know, like he make moves financially.
For those of you who have me on Facebook, I shared something today. Speaking of Trump, that his great grandfather, was a pimp, an extortionist, and a tax evader. And I shared it. And I said, the apple doesn't fall from the tree.
This is my thing. This
is all about inheritance.
This is different from because everybody different. Everybody different.
He inherited some of those traits.
Bush, I ain't really click with Bush politics. You know what I mean? I didn't knock Bush as a person.
What I gathered from little Bush, the son. I gathered that he didn't want to be there. He didn't want to be a president. He just wanted to be in Texas somewhere, running his Texas Rangers, you know, or whatever the hell he was doing, you know, running the oil company that, you know, he helped build, you know, with his father, you know, and his great-grandfathers, you know, and his great-great-grandfather, Prescott Bush, or great-grandfather, Prescott Bush. I gather that he didn't want to be there. You know, he was in there to make money, and he made a ton of money. And he you know, some of the times he just looked like he just didn't want to be there.
So I stay on Bush for a little bit.
He didn't want to be there because
now
I think he just was there because of his father's legacy that he had to protect, and he had to, you know, make amends for. You know, it was a time to where he had a chance to go and say, you know what, I have the chance. I'm gonna get him, Dad. You know, we'll get your Saddam and we'll get whoever else, and we'll make the family some money.
How did you feel when he messed up on the teleprompter and he called it the USA? And he didn't realize it was USA.
Listen, you know, everybody makes mistakes.
It's a blooper. That's hilarious.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Hilarious. The USA and USA. But, you know, like I never looked at man was just like, you know, you're stupid and all this other stuff, man. Like I watch people, you know, degrade and, you know, call Obama, you know, some foul things. I watch some crazy memes get made. on no. I mean, like when it came down to like Obama, like you had people putting nooses on dummies and all of this stuff, and his face became like a target
right after he was elected and right during his inauguration, there was some pockets of, you know, people resisting and saying, you know, I picked resisting because it was just, you know, people just causing commotion, you know. There was lighting, you know, burning flags and stuff like that. You know, there was a certain part of America that just didn't agree that having the first black man in office was normal. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, everybody, and I can understand where they're coming from. Every day they got a white president, and all of a sudden they got a black president.
Yeah.
You know, they're not ready. You know, the United States and the world was culturally ready. But some parts of the United States weren't even there.
Old school political America wasn't ready. You know what I mean? Because, you know, like we got this cliche, you know, that, you know, it's a white man's world or whatever the case may be, you know, and in some cases, like the older rich white man has a stronghold, you know, on a lot of say so in America, man. And it's not just, you know, like blacks that's tired of it, minorities that's tired of it, but women are tired of it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, they got their own movements and stuff now. Like,
yeah, but, you know, I feel that it's not just society; it's the institutions that we allow society to develop, evolve, and manipulate. You know,
get that stronghold over the people. Yeah,
us.
Yeah.
You know, welfare. You know, healthcare. You know, the finance.
Yeah, but then you tie in
medical. You know, the healthcare in a whole. You know, like I'm not saying just healthcare and costs. I'm talking about the whole entire industry. I mean, we don't know. Some don't know that the health industry was created by the Rockefellers. You know, these guys were bored. They had so much money. They were, you know, and they were making pills out of oil. And they're like, shit, we can make more money. So they're set out to, monopolize and control the whole entire medical field because nobody's done it before. So you see where they've gotten all their extensive research to make more money and have a stronghold on the industry. I mean, it's insane how you look at how the industry, the Rockefellers, went out and literally bought out holistic doctors and said, if you don't sell to us your pharmacy or your medical facility, we will arrest you and lock you up for falsifying, medical, research that we already patented.
You fast forward to the day, and that's one of the forefront arguments in today's election. Like you see it at the debates, like, well, what are you going to do for healthcare to make it more affordable for people that can't afford this and this, that, and the third?
Listen, what I'm saying is, the healthcare industry is not there to ultimately make us better, but to keep us buying into.
No matter how you look at it.
No matter how you look at it, when you get an injection to prevent the flu or a virus, okay, they're injecting you with the actual crap. So there's a potential you can get sick. So then, guess what? If you get sick, you're gonna go get medicine. You gotta go see the doctor. It's a never-ending cycle. So what the Rockefellers did, I'm not trying to focus on them, but they cornered it. They bought all these doctors, so they made it right. They made it to where, okay, this is this and this is that. So I'm not trying to single out doctors or anything. I'm not trying to create no issues. I'm just trying to make fact and light that it's a never-ending cycle.
Yeah,
so
but one thing
you're saying on cost, everybody's always fighting. Everybody's always fighting how to lower healthcare, how to make healthcare better.
To make sure that you even have healthcare, man, because certain places, like if you leave your job, your healthcare is just pretty much dropped. A lot of these are trying to make it to where if you lose your job, and I say like you go somewhere else, like your insurance like automatically, carries over. You know what I mean? You don't have to worry about starting over or whatever the case may be. Like you got insurance like where you'll automatically you'll automatically get picked up. Yeah, but that'll change once you get with the new politicians that are coming in now, with Bernie Sanders' plan, which he pretty much wrote the new bill for the insurance, and so everybody's going to get some version of what this man already wrote and like kind of put in place. And they're just going to add their own tinkers and stuff to it. But I feel like even now with Trump's administration, all they really got was a revised version of Obamacare.
It's probably,
that was
true.
One of his number one goals was to abolish Obamacare, and he just thought it was just going to be so simple to do, and come to find out that was one of the harder. You'll build a wall before you could redo all of that.
You can probably wipe out the national debt.
Yeah, before you could just come in and just think,
wipe away policies and things that are already implemented 8 years. And
not just to even get it to that point takes a lot of strategics, takes a lot of research, because like what you affect over here will have a ripple effect on like all of this, like a whole bunch of different areas over here. I'm not a politician, so I don't get in politics that much, but I follow the broader outline of
I used to
what's going on.
I used to be really into the politics, and then I got tired of seeing people bicker and fight on on social media. I used to be really, really big into Facebook, and I said, you know what, this politics is so it's dangerous.
I wanna understand, especially when you talk about healthcare, because think about what an ambulance costs just to get it,
$100,000 for $700, $800.
Listen, try
just to ride an ambulance.
Listen. Try $90,000 bills.
I mean, last time I took an ambulance ride, it was like $750, maybe $800.
Under some good insurance, huh? Go in there with without insurance. You know what I mean? And I can see the differences in the insurances just from the jobs that we have. All right, now listen. If my job, my health, my doctor's insurance is crap, but Sheba's is awesome because she works for the state, but her dental sucks but mine is awesome. You know what I mean? But I know the difference in when I go to pay for that prescription, and they take my card, and I'm not lying when they tell me that this pill is $90, but I gave them, I want to see these statistics, but I'll give them her card, which is Aetna, and I'll go into there and they're like $8. What the hell was the difference in that?
Because these companies, they barter, working, they work, they.
That's some scary. That's scary. That's some scary stuff because you have somebody that doesn't have another option. They don't have that option. So when they go there with that insurance, they're paying that $80.
And that's exactly what happens.
As opposed to a person that comes in and then they only pay that $8. But let's just say that she happens to leave her job or something. Now that one's automatically dropped. Now we're stuck with mine footing this high ass bill. But Bernie Sanders and them is trying to make it to where like you keep it, and if you go somewhere else, you got the option of keeping that one. You don't have to buy into somebody else's. So I follow politics that much.
Well, it's I think it's a good idea because you don't have to change your doctors. You have to.
That too.
Every time something happens, you gotta change the doctor. Listen, I think in the last 5 years, I probably had more change of doctors than I've had all my life because my insurance is, they change here, change there, we change doctors. It's kind of a paperwork nightmare for the whole entire industry.
Mm-hmm.
And him. He saves money by people going to here. It cuts a lot of corners, keeping people on the same plans. Kind of like keeps it keeps everything.
Yeah, on like an automatic flow. So
I'm saying, what's going on now? You change doctors. If it's not in network, you change jobs. It's like you're constantly. And believe me, I know this because I'm constantly changing plans, constantly change the doctors.
That's what I look for in a politician. Help me make sense out of that, because anybody could just come up there and they can make politics sound so good. But tell me why out of 2 insurance cards I'm paying $80, but she's only paying $8 for the same exact thing.
And it's for everything. It's for everything else. She'll pay $50 for a hospital visit. You'll pay $1,000 for a hospital.
Basically,
$400 for a hospital visit. And she'll have government, healthcare. You'll have, one of those regular plans. And it's true. That's what happens. It's really crazy.
Zane, what's up, man? I see you, brother.
Shout out to Zane. Shout out to who's watching right now.
Yeah,
Zane,
because it ain't coming up in the notifications because I'm under your page.
But it's crazy that we live in a time where you see stories on Facebook where it says pharmaceutical companies admit that they're only in to make money and not cure people. They don't care about curing people.
Man, what was
these cancer companies? You pay to try to help find a cure, and meanwhile they're just paying themselves.
I forgot the guy's name that had patented the pill to make it livable to have HIV. And initially the pill was probably like $50, and when he realized, I'm just guessing, like when he realized the influence that this had over people, then he bumped it up to $500 just for a pill.
All you gotta do is Google the guy.
Yeah, I forgot his name, but supposedly he bought. Speaking, because you got a Wu-Tang shit on, he had bought the last.
He's actually was sent to jail, I think.
Yeah, he was for gouging the prices and all of that stuff.
I think he sent. I don't know how much time he's in jail for,
but that's a dangerous individual right there. For that one person to have that much power inside their hands, and like just his ultimate decision was bringing the medical industry like to his knees, and it was like, yeah, because I said so. And it's like, bruh, like you're in public, like in front of everybody. People are dying, potentially dying or dying from this stuff, and you like without a care in the world. To think like it was James said Martin something. people,
Shreki, whatever.
something like that, yeah. And I remember Ghostface beefing with him, you know what I mean? Because, you know, he's like, you know, I'm not worried about this album that you bought that we only made one copy of that's only supposed to, you know, get released like in 20 years. We don't even matter that you're never going to do that. But then Ghost went up there and did a video with ladies that had cancer. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, look at these ladies like in their face. And you tell them that you're raising this, you know, this medicine to $500, you know, when they could barely afford what the original price was now. And it's a prime example of the people of influence that we have out there, man, with that much money and power, and they're in politics and like they
control. Listen,
you know, run medical industries. You are dumb to think that it's fair. You're stupid to think that it's a fair shake.
What I was saying, you know, it was all, you know, figured out by Mr. Rockefeller that they can make more and more money with medicine. They set out to do that very thing. You know what I'm saying? To make as much money as they could. So that's
look at the marijuana industry, how everything is going back on that. Like New York just imposed that they're not doing the drug testing for marijuana anymore, or you know, it's more doable now, you know, because they know that being that it's, you know, kind of getting legalized, that it's going to be inside everybody's system.
Well, yeah, probably.
But how many people got locked away, you know, for, you know, out of all drugs? You know, people, y'all can say what y'all want. Y'all can disagree with me all you want, because people is like, it's still a drug, whatever the case may be. Listen, it's an herb. It's an herb. It's from the earth. And I don't want to hear that coming from somebody that goes to a bar and drinks like 10 shots. Don't tell me marijuana is bad. Listen, I don't drink. I don't even do marijuana, actually. You know, hey, listen, as honest as I could be, I'm actually in recovery, and even when I do go to the hospital, it's my duty to let the doctors know that I'm in recovery, so they don't give me a narcotic. You know, so most likely I'll get a very strong dosage of like some ibuprofen, or like a very strong dosage of Tylenol, and that's serious. That's my job to let them know, because I know that that's up to me, and they go accordingly. I don't have to get an Oxycontin. I don't have to get a Percocet. Like, they got stuff that will get me back to where I need to be, you know, and I'm not going, you know, so I don't have to go on that dependency. But at the same time, back to these people who are fighting them tooth and nail over keeping marijuana illegal and all this other stuff, when science actually proved that it actually does help retract forms of cancer. It helps, you know, digress it and bring it back and slow the process down. It does help with glaucoma. It does help with people with depression. You know, nobody ever overdosed from marijuana. And you can say what you want. Oh, there was a statistic back in 1970, but it's probably synthetic. Don't blame that on a natural herb smoker, because I know hippies that have been smoking since the 70s and they're perfectly fine now. The only thing you're going to do is get high, you're going to get hungry, and probably get some cotton mouth. As opposed to a person that drinks every day, that's depleting their liver. They're getting cirrhosis of their liver. They put people's lives in jeopardy. I deliver beer. I went to bars that were people that were drinking 10 o'clock this morning, already drunk. First thing they do is jump in the car, put other lives in jeopardy.
There's two kinds of drinkers. Drinkers that, well, there's three. Drinkers that appreciate it. Drinkers that go out and have a good time, and then there's overindulgers, you know, like me. I was considered an extremist. If you had one, I had one. If you had two, I needed 1, 2. If you had 3, I need 1, 2, 3. And drug usage is, you know, a lot of people fight this. It's not a disease, you know, it's a mind thing, or this is the no. You cannot say that. It is a disease because you fight signs, symptoms, and withdrawal. Matter of fact, when you go into rehab, that one of the first things that they put you in is a room that they have to wake you up like every 3 hours, and a lot of that is for the heroin addicts, because when you withdraw, that's a dangerous withdrawal to have. But the strongest withdrawal from that, come to find out, was alcohol. Alcohol had the most dangerous withdrawal, even more dangerous than heroin. And you know, heroin addicts, they shake, they get cold sweats, they vomit, and they could potentially lose their life. So can alcoholics. And when you fight, it's not a disease. No. It's so much of a disease that when you kick it, it has a chance of actually killing you.
because now it has messed up, like, not just your own chemical imbalance, but your whole biological makeup, your chemistry, everything. The dependency could be so great you could actually go into shock and lose your life over a heroin withdrawal and over an alcohol withdrawal. And I'm telling you firsthand, because you're looking at a person who is 10 years clean. You know, May 30th made 10 years for me. So of course I had to do a lot of knowledge and research and understanding of this thing too, because not knowing about it, you know, you're basically sure to probably relapse and make the same mistakes all over again. You know, so of course, you know, I still learn this from meetings. You know, I still, you know, follow stat work and talk to, you know, my sponsor and everything. And still to this day, like if I was to break my arm or whatever the case may be, no matter how much pain I'm in, it's my job to tell them, you know, just to let you guys know, you know, I'm in recovery, and they go according from there. And they'll tell me, like when I went to the dentist and I got 2 wisdom teeth pulled in a root canal, and they said you're going to be in extreme pain, and we understand that you're in recovery. They was like, but this might be a chance that you want to talk to your sponsor. I called, you know, my sponsor, which is a good friend of mine. I called him up and I told him the scenario, and what he told me, he said, don't be Superman. He said, it's one thing if you just went into the cabinet and you just tried to do it like on your own accord. He was like, these are professionals that are telling you that you're going to be going through excruciating pain. It's a true story. So I said, well, my sponsor said it's okay. I'll just have somebody monitor it for me. No lie, I had she would monitor it for me, and she went to work the next day. So I took the medicine. I had only took one. Now I was supposed to take it in dosages. The super me was like, I want to wean myself off. So I was like, take the bottle to work with you. I don't just take it with you. I'm gonna try to fight this. She's like, okay. Man, like 2 hours later, I'm like, yo, like it's unbearable. Listen, just come here. I'm like, come here for your lunch break. I was ready to wait that pain out. It was unbearable. She said, I knew that you would go through something. So she said, I left one behind a flower pot. And it was like the best decision that she had made, because I was that shook over what could, you know, actually happen, what could potentially happen. And plus, I'm so adamant over my clean time. I don't want to do nothing. You know, you can't take a sip, can't take a. People ask me all the time, well, why don't you just celebrate and take a sip? Or can't you just take a puff? That completely eliminates clean time. Exactly. That's every second of every minute of every hour of every day of every week of every month of every year that accumulates. So I didn't have to count that as, oh, you know, I use whatever, you know, because the medical people told me, these are the professionals, which got the blessing from my sponsor, and I did wean myself off of it, because the rest of the ones that were in the bottle, we poured water inside of it and let them dissolve and destroyed them. So I did the most responsible thing.
That was good. Listen, that was smart. That was 1,000% smart, man. I mean, and you know, listen, listen, when you're in that much pain, it's hard. It's hard to like, yo, I can't do nothing. Like,
yeah. I mean, like, that stuff like that, like, you could actually, like, they tell you not to eat for a certain amount of time, and I got why. Like, when I opened my mouth, I could actually see the blood clots where, you know, they packed it up, and it was, you know, it was just held firmly. In the event that, like, I bit something hard or whatever the case may be, and it ruptured that, you're like capable of dying from just infection alone. It's like, so it's important that, like, you don't forget, like, you eat some, you just can't take it. You want to eat some ice and you want to let it melt, but you bite into it by accident because you forget, and it ruptures something. Not only are you going to be in pain, but that will cause like an infection, like that can go to your throat. And it's true. People have actually died that way, you know, but all of that is important to the medical industry, because it's the medical industry that kind of aids in the recovery centers. You know what I'm saying? Like, the last thing you really want is for all of that to collapse, and now you can't endorse these places anymore to keep them open. You know, like, they're doing research after research after research, man. And, you know, thanks to the predecessors, man, that created, you know, like the Step Birkin books and the 12 steps like Narcotics Anonymous, man, because, you know, just like, you can't be one of those people with an attitude of intolerance or indifference. Like, I didn't come in there. You shouldn't come in there thinking that you're holier than thou. Apparently, you were addicted. You needed help. You had to, you know. So you got to start over and learn something. I was one of them people. You know, higher power people going to tell me that, you know, I'm powerless over the. You know what? So that's what happened that first time around. What did I do? I relapsed. And one of the things that I realized inside this program is that everybody in recovery is basically guaranteed another relapse if you let it. You're guaranteed another relapse. But one thing you're not guaranteed is another recovery. No one could be that arrogant and just be like, I'm just going to take one hit, or I'm going to take one sip, and I'm only going to be out there for like a day. You don't know if you're going to be stuck out there from a day to weeks to months to years, if you even get a chance to come back.
That's true.
So there is no playing around with this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And like, you look at the opioid crisis that's going on now. You know what I'm saying?
We lose people all the time.
It's crazy, silently. You know, like it's a silent battle, man. That it isn't broadcasting on every single commercial. Like, now people are getting aware of it, and now, you know, like, there's place for help. But think about the people like that were growing up like in the 80s with the crack, or like even the 60s and 70s when dope was heavy back then, and then the 80s with the crack era and all this other stuff. Wasn't a lot of meetings and stuff to go to. Wasn't a lot of step work and books and all this other stuff, man. That's why it's surprising to me to see people with 15, 20 years clean time.
I kind of would have loved to have something like that back. Because, you know, being a kid surrounded by that, you know, having, you know, a parent go through that, you know, it's not being able to help, trying to find solutions on how to help, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't know, you know, I asked my father, listen, why don't you just stop what you're doing? He was like, I don't want to stop what I'm doing, I like what I'm doing. And I said, you know, you can try to be a part of my life. You can be a part of being my father.
And as an addict, he would want to. Like, he wants to. Oh, you know?
He clear as day, he said to my face, I don't want to be part of it.
Now,
I'm not gonna stop this.
Now, question. Do you hold that against him, like, as a resentment?
Yes and no.
Because you're not wrong for doing that. You're not wrong at all.
No. I mean, yes, because of the certain words they chose, and no, because it wasn't him speaking. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the answer. That's the answer.
That
I was going into.
It's real. It's it's no BS. Everybody has. Some people get to go to the ball games with their fathers. But I never had that. You know what I'm saying? That's why I enjoy taking my son. I went to the games. I took my son. He got to experience something that I never got to experience.
Word. And I thought about that when you said that.
No matter what age, you know what I'm saying, I never had that chance. So I grew up a sports fan, of different teams because I didn't have that structure. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have a dad in my life say, hey, root for the Phillies, root for the Yankees, root for the Mets. You know what I'm saying? They're from around here.
A blueprint.
You know what I'm saying? I never had that, that guide. I never had a chance to say, hey, if I had these kind of programs, I could try to seek help to help him, or I could have done something, but I didn't, it's because I didn't have those resources. Now, later in life, the resources are all over the place, you know what I'm saying? It's insane.
And very appreciative of that, man, because like you could get help in the inner cities, you could get help out here, in the suburbs, everything, where everybody realize now that they're all, especially people that use that they're all inside recovery, together. I mean, whether you white, whether you black, whether you Spanish, no matter. I could leave New Jersey and go down to Texas, and if I really needed a meeting, whatever, I would go find out where their meeting lists are, and it's a universal thing, again. So shout out to the predecessors, man, that came together and formulated all of these things through experience. You know what I mean? Who had went through experience, themselves. It wasn't like it was just some doctors. It's just, well, here, if you do this and you try this, like when you go into them step working books, like you start reading steps, like you really dig into yourself, because it's stories, it's accounts of everything that sounds just like you. Like, well, I had to learn what obsessive compulsive disorder actually was. You know, to obsess about something so much that it could takes control of your mind, and then you act off impulse and actually follow through with it. And then the disorder is you keep doing it again. And the madness of it all is that the definition of insanity was making the same mistakes over and over and over, expecting different results. You know what I mean? So like at a certain point in your life, like once the drugs or the substance and everything is gone, like I say, I keep hanging back around the same people, places, and thing. My pop used to always say, a man with no hair that goes to the barbershop every day will eventually get his hair cut. You know what I'm saying? So,
exactly.
And that's how the program is. You know, it's always constantly learning what, you know, what steps not to take, what mistakes not to do, and like you're constantly reminded, and it's constant work on yourself. Like when I go to a meeting, I might hear somebody with 20 years clean and just be in awe of just their story, where they came from and everything. But the person that's just as important as them is the person that's just coming in there. I'm a person that only got 24 hours clean. So it don't matter whether this person got 25 years clean or whether this person got 24 years clean. They're all just as important. And I learn from both of them, especially from that person with only 24 hours, because they're just coming back. You know what I'm saying? Like they just coming off the field. Like you could still smell the war and the residue in the streets on them. And they remind you that the game doesn't change. It actually gets worse. So if you go back out there, don't expect things that's going to look the same when you were out there. It's almost like being in prison for 20 years and you come back out to the block and everything's all built different and you don't know who these kids are that are on the block these days. And that's how it is. Like no relapse or going back there is easier. You know what I mean? So it's better not to even attempt to play around with it.
Listen, man, I'm proud of you. You know, it's doing your thing. You know, and listen, staying clean and listen, preaching, man. You know, it's not easy. It's not easy to stay that course. So I commend you, bro. It's definitely.
Listen, hey, look, everybody I encounter are just as important. I look at y'all the same way. You know, I appreciate everybody that I encounter in my life, whether I have a personal relationship, you know, with them or not. Even if a person in my life who I know is using, I still, to a degree, appreciate them. Because at some point, I'm quite sure I've dropped some form of jewel on them. And just because a person use or drink whatever, do not mean that person isn't smart, or do not mean that person is a criminal. That doesn't make them a criminal or nothing because they use. That doesn't make them stupid. People will drop jewels on you out there. So everything is a learning experience, from a person that never smoked or drank in their life to a person that drinks every single day. And it's an appreciation just for everything, man. And you know, like really dealing with life on life. That's the hardest thing of all of this, to have to deal with life on life's terms. I finally, when I figured out what that meant, and they kept saying it, you got to deal with life on life's terms. You got to deal with life on life's terms. And the more stuff I started going through, like, because then I started accumulating things, a job, and then the marriage, and front yard and backyard, and I was nervous at first, like, damn, like I never made it to this height in my life. And then the struggle was like keeping it all in balance. But after a while, you know, you keep it in balance. You're like, okay, I got the hang of this grown up thing. Okay, I get it. But then not every day is perfect. Not every day is perfect. Some days it's going to rain. It's going to storm. You're going to go through all type of shit. And I got it. I got it.
Some Wednesdays are going to be shorter than the other.
I said,
some Wednesdays are going to be.
Woo! Oh my gosh. Kids getting on my nerves. I'm going through an argument with her right here, man. My job is acting all crazy, man, and my mind, body, and soul are not on the same page. The universe is just not in my favor right now. But overall, I ask myself that one main question, like, I don't even ask my question anymore. Do I feel like using? Hell no. Are you stupid? Hell no, I don't feel like using. You know what? Gotta deal with it. Do I like it? No.
Shout out to the viewers that are.
But let me wake up. Let me get on up. Let me get these kids dressed. Let me run in here and make amends with her for whatever the hell she's mad at this day. And like, you know, by the end of it, like, listen, it gets greater later. And you find out, you know what I'm saying? All right. One of the things you find out is a lot of people think that once they stop drinking and once they stop smoking and stuff, it just automatically eliminates crazy. No, it doesn't. You find out she was crazy your whole goddamn life. Actually, you just get to the root of the cause. You dig deeper. It's more of a therapy thing. You like, dang, okay, I was deprived of this and I was always down on myself for that. But you learn not to do a lot of the finger pointing and start pointing back at self. You're like, all right, I could see where I would blame my pop for not really being. I could see where I would blame. And you learn that a lot of these character defects were there way before the drugs were even there. You just used and drank and stuff to mask them, to hide them. So when they're gone and you're faced with them, that's the biggest wake-up call ever. Because now you're stuck with yourself because you're like, all right, using's not an option. What the hell am I going to do? Live with yourself. You got to. There is no other way.
No other way.
When you once could take a sip and just be like, forget all of this, like you take that puff and you cut your favorite song on and go for a ride and all of that other stuff, you really realize like there's nothing worse than being inside a silent room, completely quiet, but that room is just the inside of your head. And you realize that you could either be your best friend or you could be your worst enemy. And growth is when you able to balance the both of them. And again, every day is not gonna be pretty. You know what I mean? You're gonna go through some trials, tribulations. You're gonna go through some struggles, man.
Nobody ever said life is.
But you live. But you live to fight another day.
You live every day. You know, you appreciate. You know that day. You know,
good or bad. Yeah.
Do it over.
Good or bad. Listen, yesterday could have been bad as I don't know what. Yesterday could have been the worst, but I appreciate it. You want to know why? Because it's like, damn, you know what? But, like, I feel like I came out a stronger person today. And, like, yesterday was just awful, man. Like, my car broke down, and it's just that. But when you... No, I'm just bringing scenarios. But, like, when you come out that other end, listen, pressure make diamonds.
You want to hear yesterday? I use yesterday as an example. I went to, you know, me and the family went to Six Flags. We're going to attempt to go to Six Flags, you know, Fright Fest recently started. Yeah. And let me tell you, the traffic, just to get there was insane. You know, that little, you know, off ramp, you know, the exit you get off of. The exit was just insane traffic. There was a car accident. Car on the side, you know, 3 or 4 car accident. The ambulance is coming, state troopers are coming, you know, Jackson police, whoever was there needed to be there. You know, firefighters, you know, it was a mess. You know, hopefully everybody that was involved is fine.
All right.
But the traffic to get into the park. You know, usually, you know, you go in, it's right up. You go. Listen.
Not that day.
The parking. There was no parking. You had to park. They were rerouting everybody to Hurricane Harbor's park. So now you had to wait an hour in traffic to wait an hour to get into the park to park in Hurricane Harbor.
I almost wouldn't even want to go at that point.
And now you got to get down out and you got to walk a half hour, at least a half hour, about a couple miles. To walk from Hurricane Harbor to the park entrance. You know how long that was going to take? I was talking about almost an hour to get in. Walk, you know, you're talking about a long walk. By the time, you know, you walking already.
you mad.
Actually, you're already tired. You know,
mad.
Do I really want to walk the rest of the way? So I said, listen, we're not going to go. So we took the turn, we turned into Hurricane Harbor, and we went to the exit and we left. I felt bad because, you know, my daughter wants to go, you know, but, you know, I asked the cashier, the girl that scans your pass, I said to her, be honest, how bad is it in there? And she said, it's the worst I've ever seen. I said, yeah.
She kept it real.
I said, thank you.
Yeah.
I said, that made me more confident about my decision.
She like, I ain't even gonna lie to you. You know, you better off turning around trying another day.
She didn't lie. She's like, this is the worst I've ever seen. I've never seen it like this. So it was insane. Another thing, it's an armed suspect in Trenton was critically injured in a shooting by police. Officials say, I don't know, the details about this story is initially he was shot and killed, and then they went back and said no, he was clinging to life. So I hope the person survives. You know, it's always bad when people get killed or get shot. You know,
it's unfortunate,
and it's involving police. So I hope everybody involved is fine. in another news, I was talking about let's say, my Eagles won. Got to say that.
Petty. Petty, you just threw that in.
Cowboys lost. I think I had to throw that, just throw it in there.
Word.
It was the Braves.
More like a zinger.
Yeah, zinger. Oh, by the way, the Braves start next week, this week, next week, or the weekend, I'm not sure. They start, I think, this weekend, start the playoffs, so I'm hoping the Braves get far in the playoffs.
All right.
It's always good.
Congratulations to you guys, man. Y'all been getting busy.
Well, years ago, this was the norm for me. I would watch my team in the playoffs every year. Now, it's finally coming back. I get to see my team in the playoffs again, second straight year. Hopefully they get through the Cardinals. We get on to the next, next round. I'm hoping. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just waiting for the next episode of Power, the Wu-Tang documentary on Hulu. Yeah, I'm addicted, man. It actually got seasons, so it's just on season 1. It's up to like episode 5 right now. Like, you get an in-depth look on RZA, on Ghostface, like the actual start, and the characters play these guys so well that you forget that you're looking at actors. You're like, dang, like that is how Ghostface would be. And the kid who plays Raekwon to a T, man. Shout out to him. He did, yo. He said he hung out with Raekwon for a month, and he would ask him, like, cause he knew the script already. And what better person to hear it from than the people that live these accounts. He said, and I would just ask him, like, what were you feeling at that moment? So he was like, in the moments, I knew to bite my lip, like I knew to grip. And I'm like, yo, they did that to a T. RZA played to a T. Old Dirty played to a T. Like, you almost, like, you forget that you're looking at the characters.
Yeah.
And you really get into their personality. So shout out to the acting, the cast, production on the Wu-Tang series.
When the actors can sell the part, they can sell it. You know what I'm saying? It's believable. It's like, damn.
What make it more genuine is that Raekwon's character didn't know nothing about Wu-Tang. He didn't know nothing about Raekwon. So all of this is a learning experience to him. So Wu is like the best thing that he's experienced now. He's like, wow, like these dudes really, and his mind, he's like, wow, these dudes really lived what they rap about. They're not used to that generation. A lot of this stuff is turn up, it's crunk, it's mumble rap. And they're like, wait a minute. These dudes were saying, I sold this, I did this, I was in the hallways, and to actually be where they were in their neighbor, like, wow, like they really did this. So that's amazing to them. And that both of them experiences are amazing to me.
That's how it was back then, when that's how, when
you had to live what you was rapping. You really had, you got called out for that.
These rappers, they didn't just say, oh, I got rich and, left the neighborhood. There wasn't, at the time, the money wasn't, you're living at a time where the record labels are, trying to rob you.
Yeah, dudes is coming up on their own.
Wasn't there, so you couldn't leave the hood. You was famous, but you couldn't leave the hood. At TLC, they didn't, they won a Grammy, right? It was a Grammy. Was it a? They won a Grammy and they were broke. So it's.
Yeah. Absolutely right. Absolutely right.
And they said we're broke right now. They said they kept it real.
Yeah, but like you had people, man, like who knew that the labels were taking too long. They had to go sell crack. They had to go, make some things happen. They had to shoot their way out, man, get their back off the wall and stuff, man. And listen, since we was on the Wu, man, shout out to that Wu-Tang saga, man. Hey, listen, Wu-Tang. Shout out to you, man. You know what I mean? So shout out to Hamilton Radio, man. Definitely, man, for the platform, man, and being able to release, man, thoughts, feelings, emotions, all of that, man. For this being a freestyle show too, because it's so diverse to be able to talk about any and everything. Shout out to everybody who tuned in because y'all get us, y'all get it. You know what I mean? Like y'all dig our crazy, y'all dig our madness, y'all dig our insanity, man.
100+ views. We appreciate you guys. You guys get us, you guys understand us. Whoever follow us on a regular, like Jay Jay, for instance, you know.
Yeah, and Jay be all over the road on the road and trucks and
he's
stuff.
all over the United States.
People from Trenton, man, and Florida, all of that.
And he follows us, you know what I'm saying? So we appreciate, you know, people who follow us, you know. Shout out to all the viewers tonight. Shout out to everybody around the world listening to us right now. Shout out to, you know, to everybody, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody, you know, that I get to, you know, engage in my life. Everybody that's a part of my life. Some ways, you know, the other, if I see you, you know, here, see you there, you know, if I talk to you, you know, shout out to you guys, you know, shout out to you, bro. You know, I don't know, like I said, we look like we do this for, you know, what, 30 years? 30 years we look like we've been doing it. You know, the chemistry, how we do this is just insane. Shout out to Ruben, shout out to, you know, Monk Gino, shout out to all the shows on Hamilton Radio, shout out to Hamilton Radio, shout out to this platform.
Definitely shout out to Monk.
You know,
Monk toned in too, man. I appreciate you.
You know, shout out to, you know, us, you know, shout out to the Freestyle Freaks.
Nick, I appreciate you too, man. You know, for saying that I came a long way, man. That you was proud of me. I seen stuff like that, man. Zane was going there. He was going there on a recovery thing, man. Like y'all was really following us, man. And that was a whole heartfelt conversation. And to see them, like I seen the notifications, like they was going back and forth with me, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna address y'all, man. So, man, look, I appreciate y'all, man.
You know, shout out to my wife, shout out to my daughter, shout out to my son. Shout out to everybody that's a part of my life. We love you guys. We're the Freestyle Freaks. I'm Rocky Rotten, also known as DJ Noise. This is my boy, my right hand man, Blade the Kid, funny man. And we're the Freestyle Freaks, and we're out only on Hamilton Radio. Peace.
Peace.